What if I told you that some of the most glamorous women of Hollywood's golden age weren't who the world thought they were? Behind the pearls, the red lips, and the flashing cameras were stories so shocking the studios buried them deep. In an industry built on illusion, these stars carried the biggest secret of all, being born male. These weren't just movie idols. They were survivors of a time when one revelation could end a career in a single headline. Here are 20 Golden Age celebrities who lived double lives Hollywood never wanted you to know about. 20. Jayne Mansfield. Jayne Mansfield was more than a Hollywood bombshell. She was an optical illusion the studios perfected. With her platinum curls, breathy voice, and daring persona, she became the symbol of 1950s glamour. But behind that glitzy surface, stories swirled about her mysterious beginnings and carefully hidden past. Some insiders claimed the Dumb Blonde act was a total fabrication, crafted to overshadow the truth about who she really was before fame struck. From her dramatic rise to her tragic death, every part of Jayne's story felt like a performance within a performance. Whether it was her reconstructed image or the rumors that shadowed her career, one thing's certain, Jayne knew how to keep the world guessing. Her allure wasn't just in her beauty, but in how effortlessly she blurred the line between reality and reinvention. 19. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe wasn't born a superstar. She was built into one. Long before she became the most photographed woman in the world, Norma Jean Mortensen was a shy, uncertain girl who dreamed of something bigger. When the studios discovered her, they didn't just give her fame. They gave her a new face, a new name, and a new identity. Every detail, from her platinum hair to her seductive walk, was designed to captivate the audience. Yet behind the camera, she wrestled with the truth of who she really was. The rumors that followed her weren't just about lovers or scandals. They were about how much of Marilyn was real at all. She became a living symbol of Hollywood's power to create, control, and conceal, proving that sometimes the most famous faces hide the deepest secrets. 18. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner's beauty was so breathtaking that MGM called her the most beautiful animal in the world. But long before the red carpets and flashing cameras, her early life was wrapped in mystery. Born to a humble North Carolina family, the details of her childhood were often blurred by studio edits and clever PR work. By the time she hit the screen, Ava was no longer the small-town girl. She was Hollywood's unstoppable force of glamour. Rumors about her origins, her birth records, and even her name added a strange curiosity to her stardom. Studios went to great lengths to sculpt her into perfection, burying any trace of imperfection. What made Ava fascinating wasn't just her looks. It was the haunting sense that Hollywood had rewritten her story long before the audience ever met her. 17. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth's transformation remains one of Hollywood's most shocking makeovers. Born Margarita Cancino to a family of Spanish dancers, she arrived in Hollywood with dark hair, olive skin, and a foreign-sounding name. But that didn't fit the image the studios wanted. They lightened her skin, changed her hairline, dyed her hair red, and renamed her Rita Hayworth. What the audience saw was a fiery bombshell, but what lay beneath was a woman torn between two worlds, the real Margarita and the fantasy creation called Rita. Her rise to fame was built on illusion, a deliberate erasure of her heritage, and possibly deeper truths that never surfaced publicly. Every time she smiled on screen, she carried the weight of that transformation, a living example of how Hollywood didn't just make stars, it manufactured them completely. 16. Lana Turner. Lana Turner's discovery story was pure Hollywood fantasy. A teenage girl found sipping soda at a cafe suddenly turned into a movie goddess. But behind that headline tale was a carefully managed reinvention. Her real background, early schooling, and birth documents were often adjusted by MGM to make her more glamorous. Studios in the 1940s guarded their stars like state secrets, and Lana was one of their biggest creations. Her look, her speech, and even her personality were all molded to perfection. But away from the spotlight, She was haunted by questions about her true self. Was she the girl she used to be, or the woman the world wanted her to become? That haunting contrast between real and rewritten made her one of Hollywood's most enigmatic faces, both adored and endlessly misunderstood. 15. Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker rose from the harsh realities of American segregation to become France's most adored performer. Her stage presence was electric, bold, sensual, and unapologetically free. But whispers about her origins followed her throughout her life. Early records from St. Louis were conflicting, and some believed even her name wasn't her own. When she crossed the Atlantic, she didn't just change countries, she changed everything about herself. Paris embraced her as an icon of freedom, yet beneath the feathers and fame lingered questions about who she truly was. Josephine mastered the art of transformation, using mystery as armor and allure as power. She wasn't just breaking racial and gender boundaries, she was rewriting her existence in a world that tried to define her. Every performance was both a celebration and a secret beautifully disguised. 14. Carole Lombard. Carole Lombard was the golden girl of screwball comedies, witty, fearless, and effortlessly charming. But behind that sharp tongue and megawatt smile was a woman with a past that Hollywood quietly edited. Early photographs and local records from her youth didn't always align with the version MGM presented. Her transformation from a modest Midwestern girl to a glamorous screen queen seemed almost too perfect, fueling whispers that parts of her early life had been rewritten. Studio publicity departments were known for crafting legends, and Carole's story was one of their finest works. Yet what made her unforgettable wasn't the glamour. It was her defiance of Hollywood's rules. Even as rumors swirled, she lived boldly, laughed loudly, and refused to play the part of the delicate leading lady the studios tried to script for her. 13. Bette Davis. Bette Davis was never one to blend in. With her piercing eyes and commanding voice, she stormed into Hollywood and shattered the mold of what a leading lady should be. But that same refusal to conform sparked endless gossip about her past, her identity, and even her origins. Studios couldn't quite package her. She was too intense, too unconventional, too real. As her fame grew, so did the myths, stories of her upbringing that didn't match the official studio version. Yet Bette thrived on the mystery, turning whispers into fuel. Every role she played carried a piece of her truth, layered with the strength of a woman who refused to let anyone define her. Her power came from authenticity wrapped in enigma, a woman who never let Hollywood's fantasies overwrite her reality. 12. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow's rise was meteoric, a young woman transformed into the first platinum blonde goddess of the silver screen. But that transformation came with secrets buried deep beneath the curls and sequins. Born Harlan Carpenter, her name, background, and even her personality were reshaped by studio handlers desperate to create a sensation. The public knew her as the playful seductress, but those close to her described a shy, introspective soul struggling under the image built around her. Stories about inconsistencies in her early life only deepened the intrigue. Hollywood turned her into a fantasy so convincing that it erased the person she once was. Her tragic death at just 26 sealed her legend forever, a reminder that the woman the world adored might have been just another carefully constructed illusion. 11. Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara Stanwyck's tough, street-smart characters made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, but her off-screen life carried a mystery that fascinated fans and journalists alike. Born Ruby Stevens, her early years were shadowed by poverty, loss, and constant reinvention. When she arrived in Hollywood, the studio scrubbed her past clean, rewriting her as a self-made star with no trace of hardship. Rumors circulated about altered documents and missing records, adding a strange depth to her myth. Yet Barbara never denied or confirmed anything. She simply let her work speak for her. Her strength, both real and imagined, became her armor in an industry built on facades. Whether the world ever knew the full truth didn't matter. She had already mastered the art of turning secrets into stardom. 10. Gloria Swanson. Gloria Swanson embodied the glamour of the silent film era, a woman who seemed born for the spotlight. Yet her beginnings were anything but clear. Reports about her childhood and family background varied widely, and the studios helped shape a more palatable version of her origin story. By the time she became Hollywood royalty, the world believed in the tale the studios had written, not necessarily the truth. Gloria embraced the illusion, perfecting every detail of her public persona. Even in her later years, she guarded her privacy like a secret script. The fascination with her never faded, partly because no one could separate the actress from the myth. Every glance, every pose, every whisper of her name carried the weight of a mystery Hollywood never dared to solve. 9. Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr was more than just a breathtaking beauty. She was a genius who co-invented technology that later inspired Wi-Fi, but her story began with shadows. Born in Austria, her early records were clouded by war, scandal, and reinvention. When she fled Europe and arrived in Hollywood, the studios polished her accent, rewrote her history, and built a fantasy around her brilliance and beauty. Yet the woman inside was far more complex than the glamorous facade suggested. Behind the diamonds and red lips was an inventor, a dreamer, and perhaps a survivor of secrets never revealed. Hedy's transformation from European mystery to American icon wasn't just a career move, it was survival. Her life proved that sometimes the brightest stars shine hardest when hiding the deepest truths. 8. Dolores Del Rio. Dolores Del Rio was one of Hollywood's first Latin superstars, her grace and poise captivating audiences around the world. But her beauty wasn't the only thing that drew attention. Her origins were wrapped in mystery. Born in Mexico, stories about her early life often shifted depending on who was telling them. Some claimed her rise to fame was too smooth to be a coincidence, while others believed the studios deliberately reworked her background to make her more exotic yet acceptable to American audiences. Her carefully crafted elegance hid layers of untold truth about where she came from and who she once was. Behind the gowns and fame, Dolores remained a mystery, a woman who managed to keep her real story locked behind the shimmer of old Hollywood's most captivating mask. 7. Mae West. Mae West wasn't just a movie star. She was an entire attitude. Bold, brash, and dangerously witty, she built a persona that challenged every social rule of her time. But her commanding confidence also fueled endless rumors about her early life. Whispers suggested that Mae's identity had been intentionally shaped long before her fame, making her more mysterious than anyone knew. Her deep voice, curvy figure, and unapologetic sensuality made people question what was real and what was performance. Hollywood loved her for her controversy, but feared her control over her own image. She played both genders' expectations like a game, always keeping the upper hand. Mae's biggest trick wasn't her comedy or charm. It was how perfectly she made the world believe in the illusion she wanted them to see. 6. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead was pure chaos wrapped in charisma. Her smoky voice, daring lifestyle, and open defiance of Hollywood's rules made her unforgettable. But her wild reputation also came with questions about her personal truth. Raised in a powerful Southern family, Tallulah was determined to live life on her own terms, refusing to fit into any box society built for her. Her behavior shocked Hollywood, especially her casual disregard for gender norms and her rumored secret past. Whether those rumors were based on truth or jealousy, she never cared to explain. Instead, she embraced every whisper, turning scandal into strength. Tallulah's life was a loud declaration that identity was hers to define, no matter how much the world tried to rewrite it. 5. Claudette Colbert. Claudette Colbert had one of the most sophisticated images in classic Hollywood. Elegant, witty, and always perfectly composed. Yet behind her flawless charm, many noticed inconsistencies in her early story. Born in France, she moved to America young, but reports about her childhood and even her real name never quite matched up. Some claimed her transition from stage to screen came with a quiet rewriting of her origins, designed to make her more relatable to American audiences. Studios often erased details they thought might distract from a star's appeal, and Claudette's mystery seemed to grow the more famous she became. Her subtle grace on screen reflected her private discipline off it, always in control, always guarding the truth behind the woman audiences thought they knew. 4. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford's journey from poverty to stardom was Hollywood's favorite rags-to-riches story, but few knew how many layers of truth had been stripped away along the way. Born Lucille LeSueur, she grew up struggling, cleaning classrooms and chasing dreams bigger than her small-town life. When MGM discovered her, they didn't just change her name, they rebuilt her completely. Her birth records disappeared, her accent softened, and her past rewritten to fit the image of a perfect star. As her fame grew, so did the whispers about who she really was before the cameras started rolling. The factory girl had been buried beneath sequins and scripts, leaving behind a woman the world adored but never truly understood. Joan didn't just play roles. She became one herself, built entirely from Hollywood's imagination. 3. Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn wasn't just a star. She was a revolution in motion. While most actresses followed Hollywood's rules, Katharine broke every single one. She wore trousers when women weren't, supposed to, refused to act ladylike, and lived her life with fierce independence. Her sharp confidence and defiant charm made her unforgettable, but it also invited endless whispers. Gossip magazines questioned her femininity, her upbringing, and even her origins, trying to uncover what made her so different. But Katharine never explained herself. She simply lived boldly, forcing Hollywood to adapt to her, not the other way around. Her power came from authenticity in an industry built on illusion. Every role she played carried a piece of her truth. Strong, unconventional, and entirely her own creation. She didn't follow trends. She created a new kind of woman altogether. 2. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo was a mystery the world could never solve. Her beauty was otherworldly, her relevance magnetic, and her privacy legendary. From the moment she stepped into Hollywood, rumors surrounded her. Stories about her early life in Sweden, her name, and her carefully guarded identity. The studios used her silence as marketing, calling her the woman who wants to be alone, but many believed it was her way of hiding deeper truths. Garbo's refusal to fit into Hollywood's mold only fueled the fascination. She blurred the lines between male and female energy, fame and anonymity, reality and fantasy. When she walked away from Hollywood at the height of her fame, she became even more intriguing. Greta didn't just play mysterious characters. She became one, living proof that some secrets are too precious for the spotlight. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich embodied both elegance and rebellion in equal measure. With her deep voice, tailored suits, and smoldering stare, she redefined beauty in an era obsessed with conformity. In pre-war Berlin, she was already known for performing in gender-bending cabarets, long before Hollywood caught on to her allure. When she crossed into American cinema, that same fluidity made her both fascinating and controversial. Whispers about her past, her identity, and her relationships swirled around her entire career. But Marlene remained untouchable. She used ambiguity as power, never confirming, never denying, only captivating. Her presence on screen blurred every line Hollywood tried to draw. To the world, she was a goddess. To those who looked closer, she was an enigma, living proof that identity is as much an art as acting itself. So now that you've seen the truth behind these Golden Age icons, it's clear that Hollywood's sparkle often hid stories far more daring than any script could tell. Their courage to live, love, and shine under impossible pressure deserves to be remembered, not erased. Do you think Hollywood would have treated them differently today, or would the same secrets still be buried under fame? If this story opened your eyes to the hidden side of old Hollywood, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold truths behind the silver screen.
Hollywood with an iron will and presented a perfect public image. As the face of Pepsi, she maintained a professional appearance, but insiders knew about her ever-present stash of gin and champagne. At parties, rumors spread about her mixing gin with Pepsi when cameras weren't looking. Her drinking increased as she aged, becoming a daily routine. Even on set, her coffee cups often contained something stronger. Despite her addiction, Crawford maintained her legendary work ethic until the end. Number 21. W.C. Fields. Born above a bar, W.C. Fields seemed destined for a life with alcohol. He carried flasks of gin martinis everywhere, calling them his lemonade. During Prohibition, fear gripped him. What if he couldn't get alcohol? His solution was to hide thousands of bottles throughout his home. Fields made drinking part of his comedy, but the reality wasn't funny. He drank heavily until his final days, his red nose and slurred speech becoming part of his trademark persona. Number 20. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy won 2 Oscars while hiding a serious drinking problem. His binges were legendary: violent outbursts, bar fights, and even waking up in jail cells. Between films, Tracy would disappear on drinking sprees for days. Katharine Hepburn often had to search bars to find him. On screen, he projected strength and moral authority. Off screen, he was falling apart. Tracy somehow maintained his performance quality despite his addiction, hiding his struggles behind that famous stoic expression. Number 19. Frank Sinatra. The original functioning alcoholic, Frank Sinatra rarely appeared without his signature glass of Jack Daniels. He reportedly drank a bottle daily but still performed flawlessly night after night. Sinatra considered alcohol his performance enhancer, claiming it loosened his vocal cords. His Rat Pack friends joined him in legendary drinking sessions that lasted days. Despite his heavy drinking, Sinatra maintained his career for decades. His tolerance was so high that friends were amazed he could still stand after numerous drinks. Number 18. Dean Martin. Dean Martin blurred the line between his drunk stage persona and reality. His famous line, "You're not drunk if you can lie on the floor without holding on," wasn't just a joke. That glass in his hand during performances really contained alcohol. While some claim he watered down his drinks later in life, Martin's drinking was very real in his early years. The image worked so well for his career that he maintained it even when sober. Audiences never knew which Dean they were seeing, the drunk character or the actual drunk. Number 17. Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum's tough guy image wasn't just for the cameras. His heavy drinking matched his macho persona perfectly. Mitchum often showed up to set already buzzed, shooting scenes while intoxicated. His 1948 marijuana arrest shocked America, but insiders weren't surprised. Mitchum's substance use was well known in Hollywood circles. Despite his habits, directors hired him repeatedly for his reliable performances and box office draw. Mitchum himself joked about his reputation, saying he had only one rule: never do anything sober that you wouldn't do drunk. Number 16. Richard Harris. Richard Harris drank so heavily that he was once banned from every hotel in London. His drinking buddies told stories of week-long benders and destroyed hotel rooms. Harris famously said he'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. When filming Camelot, he often needed help standing during scenes. Despite his addiction, Harris delivered powerful performances throughout his career. In later years, he finally achieved sobriety but never regretted his wild days. His drinking tales remain legendary in Hollywood history. Number 15. Michael Landon. Michael Landon portrayed wholesome characters in Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie, but those coffee mugs he carried on set often contained whiskey or vodka. Landon hid his addiction remarkably well. Even close co-stars were shocked when they discovered his drinking. His all-American image made his alcoholism even more surprising to fans. Despite his drinking, Landon maintained a demanding work schedule as an actor, writer, and director. His addiction remained mostly private until late in his career. Number 14. Orson Welles. Orson Welles once claimed cocktails balanced out his liver. The genius behind Citizen Kane matched his enormous talent with equally enormous drinking habits. Welles was rarely seen without alcohol, often consuming wine throughout the day. As his weight increased, so did his drinking. Studio executives worried about his habits, but couldn't deny his brilliance. Welles's later career struggles were partly due to his reputation for excessive drinking on set. Yet he remained sharp-witted and eloquent despite decades of heavy alcohol consumption. Number 13. John Barrymore. John Barrymore, the original acting dynasty patriarch, began drinking at just 14 years old. His Hollywood exploits with the Bundy Drive gang became industry legend. Fellow actors were amazed at his ability to perform brilliantly while completely intoxicated. Barrymore's binges lasted days, sometimes delaying production. Yet when cameras rolled, he delivered perfect performances. His handsome face eventually showed the effects of decades of drinking. Despite multiple attempts at sobriety, Barrymore never conquered his addiction, dying from complications related to alcoholism. Number 12. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn swashbuckled on screen and partied wildly off it. He founded Hollywood's original party crowd, drinking from morning until night. Flynn's yacht became notorious for drunken parties with young actresses. His devil-may-care attitude extended to his drinking habits. He once claimed he tried sobriety, but didn't like it. Flynn's alcohol abuse affected his performances in later years, with directors scheduling important scenes early in the day. Despite his addiction, women still found him irresistible, fueling his bad boy legend. Number 11. Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah Bankhead shocked even her hard-partying peers with her drinking habits. Her witty comebacks and wild parties were fueled by endless bourbon. Bankhead drank heavily throughout her career, often arriving on set visibly intoxicated. Her gravelly voice became partly due to her drinking and smoking habits. Despite her addiction, Bankhead maintained her sharp wit until her final days. She refused to apologize for her lifestyle, once declaring, "I'm as pure as the driven slush." Her drinking was as legendary as her personality. Number 10. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift's drinking intensified after a devastating car accident left him in constant pain. His perfect face was damaged, and alcohol became his relief. Clift would drink heavily between takes, somehow pulling himself together when cameras rolled. Directors watched in amazement as he transformed from incoherent to brilliant with action calls. His friendship with Elizabeth Taylor included legendary drinking sessions. Despite his alcoholism, Clift delivered some of cinema's most sensitive performances. His drinking eventually contributed to his early death at 45. Number 9. Herman J. Mankiewicz. The genius behind Citizen Kane wrote some of Hollywood's best scripts while completely drunk. Herman Mankiewicz kept alcohol hidden throughout studio offices. During the writing of Citizen Kane, he was kept under lock and key to limit his drinking. Mankiewicz joked about his condition, saying, "There's millions to be made in the movies. All you need is an idea and a drink." Despite his addiction, his writing remained brilliant. Studio heads tolerated his behavior because of his remarkable talent. Number 8. John Huston. Director and actor John Huston was rarely seen without a drink in hand. He directed classics like The Maltese Falcon while maintaining a legendary alcohol intake. Huston's hard-living reputation followed him to every set. He expected the cast and crew to keep up with his drinking, creating notoriously wild film productions. Despite his habits, Huston delivered masterpieces and worked until his final years. His drinking adventures in Ireland and Mexico became Hollywood legend. Huston claimed alcohol enhanced his creativity and vision as a filmmaker. Number 7. Cary Grant. Behind Cary Grant's charming smile and perfect comedic timing was a man who drank heavily to manage his anxiety. While maintaining a sophisticated public image, Grant often relied on alcohol before social events. His drinking remained mostly private, hidden behind that debonair persona. Grant eventually experimented with LSD therapy to address his psychological issues and drinking. Unlike many stars, he successfully reduced his alcohol consumption in later years. His private struggles contrasted sharply with his seemingly effortless on-screen confidence. Number 6. Leonard Nimoy. The logical Mr. Spock dealt with fame through very human means: alcohol. Leonard Nimoy turned to drinking to cope with the pressure of becoming an overnight sensation. His alcoholism remained hidden from Star Trek fans for years. Between scenes, Nimoy often drank to calm his nerves. The famous Vulcan salute was sometimes performed by a shaking hand steadied by alcohol. Nimoy eventually sought help and achieved sobriety, later speaking openly about his struggles to help others fighting addiction. Number 5. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's violet eyes witnessed and participated in legendary drinking sessions. Her tumultuous relationship with Richard Burton featured matching bottles of vodka. Taylor's drinking increased during difficult periods in her life, becoming a coping mechanism for pain. Despite multiple health issues, she continued drinking heavily for years. Taylor eventually sought treatment, becoming one of the first celebrities to publicly acknowledge her alcoholism. Her openness about addiction helped reduce stigma in Hollywood, even as she occasionally relapsed throughout her life. Number 4. Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn portrayed larger-than-life characters while living equally large off-screen. His drinking sessions were as epic as his performances. Quinn drank heavily throughout international film productions, often hosting parties that lasted until dawn. Despite his alcohol consumption, he maintained a prolific career spanning decades. Quinn's Mediterranean background made wine a daily ritual that gradually increased over time. Directors learned to work around his drinking habits, scheduling important scenes when he was most likely to be sober. Number 3. William Holden. William Holden's golden boy looks masked as a man struggling with alcoholism. His drinking contributed directly to his tragic death. He fell while intoxicated, hitting his head fatally. Throughout his career, Holden's charm helped hide his growing dependence on alcohol. Co-stars noticed his drinking but rarely mentioned it publicly. As his addiction worsened, his handsome face showed the effects. Despite his struggles, Holden delivered powerful performances even in his later years. His death became a cautionary tale in Hollywood about the dangers of alcohol. Number 2. Bela Lugosi. The original Dracula turned to alcohol and drugs as his career declined. Bela Lugosi's thick accent limited his roles, leading to typecasting and diminishing opportunities. As better parts disappeared, his drinking increased. Lugosi found himself in low-budget films while battling a serious addiction. His haunting eyes that once terrified audiences became bloodshot from constant drinking. Despite his struggles, Lugosi maintained his dignity and professionalism whenever possible. His addiction battles continued until his death, with the actor being buried in his famous Dracula cape. Number 1. Judy Garland. While Judy Garland is more famous for pill addiction, alcohol played a major role in her struggles. She mixed drinks with medications, creating a dangerous cocktail that affected her performance. Garland's drinking began early. MGM executives supplied her with substances to maintain her grueling schedule. By her 30s, she was drinking heavily to manage her anxiety and insomnia. Despite her addictions, her talent remained undeniable. Her tragic story revealed the dark side of Hollywood's golden age, where stars were used up and discarded. These legends defined Hollywood's golden era, but their real battles happened when cameras stopped rolling. Their drinking affected their work, relationships, and lives. Many died young because of alcohol. Next time you watch their classic films, look closely. Behind those heroic acts and romantic scenes were real people fighting demons. Hollywood tried to hide these stories, but the truth always finds its way into the light. These weren't just actors, they were survivors, performing brilliantly despite their struggles. Crazy to think that behind all the gunfire, car chases, and knockout punches, so many of these action legends were quietly fighting their own battles with the bottle. It makes you wonder how many more stories are still hidden behind those tough guy smiles. If you want to uncover even more shocking secrets about the stars you thought you knew, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the next revelation might just blow your mind. Just as complex. Perkins lived as a closeted gay man. Hollywood forced him to hide his sexuality. The pressure damaged his mental health. He underwent therapy to cure his homosexuality. He eventually married a woman and had children. In 1990, Perkins received devastating news. He had AIDS. He kept his diagnosis secret for 2 years. He feared the stigma would destroy his career. He used fake names in hospitals. He hid his treatments from friends. Only after he died in 1992 did his wife release a statement. She revealed his battle with AIDS. She explained he kept it private to protect his family. His son later described how his father suffered in silence. Perkins' final film was titled A Demon in My View. The name seemed fitting. He battled personal demons his entire life. His most frightening role wasn't Norman Bates. It was pretending to be someone else every day. Rock Hudson, Hollywood's forced lie. Rock Hudson embodied masculine perfection. Women wanted him, men wanted to be him. His handsome face sold millions of movie tickets. His image made him a Hollywood legend. Behind this perfect image lived a gay man. Studios forced him to hide his sexuality. They arranged fake dates with women. They created false romances for magazines. His agent even arranged a sham marriage to his secretary. In 1985, Hudson became the first major celebrity to die of AIDS. His diagnosis shocked the world. Many Americans first learned about AIDS through Hudson's death. His friend and co-star Elizabeth Taylor revealed the truth after he died. Hudson lived in constant fear of exposure. He couldn't love openly. He couldn't be himself in public. The strain affected his happiness his entire life. Hudson's death changed America's view of AIDS. His fame put a familiar face on the epidemic. His friend Elizabeth Taylor became an AIDS activist. She raised millions for research. Hudson's tragedy ultimately saved many lives. David Cassidy's final confession. David Cassidy made teenage girls scream as Keith Partridge. His posters hung on bedroom walls across America. He seemed like the perfect heartthrob. In his final years, Cassidy told fans he had dementia. He forgot the lyrics on stage. He stumbled during performances. He blamed his declining health on the same disease that killed his mother. After he died in 2017, the truth emerged. Cassidy had lied about dementia. His real problem was alcoholism. He had been drinking himself to death for years. In his final days, Cassidy confessed to producers, working on a documentary about his life. "I have a liver disease," he admitted. "There is no sign of me having dementia. I lied about my drinking." His final words revealed his shame. He wanted fans to think illness took his talent. He couldn't admit that alcohol destroyed his life. His last act was creating a false narrative about his decline. Robin Williams, the misdiagnosed genius. Robin Williams made the world laugh for decades. His rapid-fire comedy seemed superhuman. His dramatic roles showed surprising depth. His suicide in 2014 stunned his fans. Initial reports blamed depression. People thought fame and pressure became too much. The truth was more complicated. After his death, doctors discovered Williams had Lewy body dementia. This rare brain disease causes hallucinations, confusion, and paranoia. Williams knew something was wrong. Doctors had misdiagnosed him with Parkinson's disease. His widow Susan later described his final months. Williams experienced tremors, anxiety, and memory problems. He couldn't remember his lines. His brilliant mind was failing him. He knew he was losing himself. The disease explained his sudden decline. It wasn't just depression that drove him to suicide. It was the terror of losing his identity. The man who could think faster than anyone was watching his mind disappear. Heath Ledger, consumed by the Joker. Heath Ledger transformed into the Joker for The Dark Knight. His performance terrified audiences. It earned him a posthumous Oscar. It also consumed his life. Ledger died from an accidental overdose in 2008. He mixed prescription medications. The combination stopped his breathing. He was only 28 years old. After his death, people learned about his preparation for the Joker role. He locked himself in a hotel room for weeks. He kept a disturbing journal. He barely slept. He pushed his mental health to breaking point. Friends reported he couldn't stop being the Joker. The character haunted his dreams. He took sleeping pills to escape. Then he took stimulants to function during the day. This dangerous cycle ultimately killed him. Ledger's father revealed the truth about the journal. The last page contained the words, "Bye-bye," written in large letters. The role that made him a legend may have driven him toward death. Matthew Perry, the friend who suffered alone. Matthew Perry made millions laugh as Chandler Bing on Friends. His sarcastic humor defined a generation. His timing seemed effortless. Behind his jokes lived a man in constant pain. Perry died in 2023 at age 54. The autopsy revealed ketamine in his system. The full investigation showed decades of addiction worse than anyone had imagined. The extent shocked even those who knew about his problems. After his death, friends revealed Perry spent over $9 million trying to get sober. He underwent 65 detox treatments. He had 14 stomach surgeries from drug damage. He nearly died multiple times before his final overdose. His memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, gave glimpses of his struggle. The complete picture emerged only after he died. Perry spent every day of Friends filming either high or hungover, or drunk or detoxing, or all combined. Perry's driver revealed he visited multiple doctors daily during the height of his addiction. He received prescriptions from 15 different physicians. He paid cash to avoid detection. He consumed 50 Vicodin pills every day for years. His co-stars didn't know the full extent of his suffering. Jennifer Aniston confronted him once about alcohol on set. His response was deflection and promises to improve. He hid his pain with jokes. He built walls with humor. Former girlfriends spoke about his isolation. He pushed people away when they got too close. He feared they would discover how broken he felt inside. He sabotaged relationships when they threatened his addiction. Perry established sober living homes to help others. He spent millions supporting other addicts. He frequently took strangers to rehab. He paid for treatments for people he barely knew. His generosity contradicted his self-destructive behaviors. His assistant found dozens of journals after his death. These writings revealed constant physical pain. Perry lived with chronic pancreatitis. His digestive system never fully recovered from years of abuse. He existed in constant agony. The man who made America laugh was crying inside. His addiction consumed everything, including his life. His story wasn't just about fame's dark side. It was about the human struggle against pain, both physical and emotional. Natalie Wood's unsolved tragedy. Natalie Wood captivated audiences from childhood. Her performance in Miracle on 34th Street made her a star at 8. Her adult roles in Rebel Without a Cause and West Side Story showcased her dramatic talent. Her beauty and skill made her an enduring icon. Wood's death shocked Hollywood in 1981. She drowned near Santa Catalina Island while boating with her husband Robert Wagner and friend Christopher Walken. The official ruling called it an accidental drowning. The case seemed straightforward at first. Questions emerged immediately about the circumstances. Wood had a lifelong fear of dark water. She never would have left the yacht alone at night. She had been drinking with Wagner and Walken. Arguments occurred throughout the evening. The boat captain Dennis Davern remained silent for years. After Wagner's autobiography contained inconsistencies, Davern spoke out. He described hearing Wood and Wagner arguing fiercely. He reported Wagner's jealousy over Wood's relationship with Walken. Davern's later testimony claimed Wagner prevented immediate search efforts. Wagner allegedly said, "Let's not call anyone right now," when Wood disappeared. Crucial hours passed before authorities were notified. These delays may have cost Wood her life. Wood's sister Lana campaigned for decades to reopen the investigation. Her efforts succeeded in 2011. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department changed Wood's cause of death from accidental drowning to drowning and other undetermined factors. In 2018, investigators named Robert Wagner a person of interest. They cited his changing stories about that night. They noted fresh bruises on Wood's body inconsistent with drowning. They questioned the delay in reporting her missing. Medical examinations revealed Wood had bruises on her wrists, knees, and ankles. These injuries suggested a struggle before entering the water. The autopsy found scratches on her face consistent with someone trying to climb back onto a boat. Wood's daughter Natasha has defended Wagner. She believes her mother's death was a tragic accident. She resents the continued investigation. She wants her mother remembered for her life rather than her mysterious death. The case remains officially unsolved. The three people who know what happened that night tell different stories. Walken rarely speaks about it. Wagner maintains his innocence. Davern claims knowledge of foul play. The truth may have drowned with Natalie Wood. Marilyn Monroe's mysterious end. Marilyn Monroe became the definitive Hollywood sex symbol. Her beauty captivated audiences worldwide. Her talent showed in films like Some Like It Hot. Her tragic death at 36 created an eternal icon frozen in youth. The official ruling called her death probable suicide. Police found empty pill bottles beside her bed. Her brief calls to friends that night seemed melancholy. The case closed quickly despite inconsistencies in the evidence. After her death, new information emerged about her complicated relationships with powerful men. Her affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert Kennedy became public knowledge. These connections added sinister dimensions to her death. Witness statements released decades later contradicted the original timeline. Her housekeeper changed her story multiple times. Neighbors reported seeing unknown men at her house the night she died. An ambulance arrived before police were called. Monroe's phone records from her final day disappeared. Her diary vanished from her home. Her therapist reported missing notes from their final sessions. Someone systematically removed evidence from the scene. The autopsy found no pills in her stomach, despite the supposed method of suicide. The toxicology report showed extremely high levels of barbiturates in her blood. Experts later questioned how she could have taken pills without leaving traces in her digestive system. FBI files declassified years after her death revealed extensive surveillance of Monroe. The agency monitored her contacts with suspected communists. They recorded her conversations with foreign diplomats. They tracked her movements in her final months. Former CIA operatives made deathbed confessions about Monroe's death. Several claimed involvement in operations to silence her. They described plans to stage a suicide to protect political figures. They provided details only insiders would know. Monroe allegedly threatened to reveal government secrets. She kept a red diary documenting conversations with the Kennedys. She planned a press conference the week of her death. She told friends she would shock the world with revelations. Her death became the perfect Hollywood mystery. Beautiful women, powerful men, sex, politics, and secrets combined into an irresistible conspiracy. The full truth remains buried with Marilyn. Her final scene may never be fully understood. It's wild to think how much was hidden behind the smiles, the muscles, and the blockbuster roles, right? If these walls could talk, imagine what other secrets might still be buried deep in Hollywood's golden past. Which action icon's hidden truth shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're hungry for even more untold stories, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around. The real Hollywood is way crazier than anything you've seen on screen, and we're just getting started.